Hey everybody, good to see you. I missed you. This is Karen Jokotifa Alaye, and this is Owning Life, where I practice owning my own life and encourage you to do the same. And it's been a super busy couple of weeks. Last weekend was my mom's 83rd birthday, so I had to bring her to the Bay Area to be with my brother, and then also for her to visit her 93-year-old sister. So, right, we need to get them together as much as possible. And the weekend before that, I attended a Klemmer event. Now, okay, you might have feelings about that, but it was their personal mastery weekend. I've actually known about Klemmer for years and years, and I've actively avoided attending one of their events. I just, the way that people who go to Klemmer events and who love it get so emphatic about wanting you to come, that's a lot for me, and so I really held it at arm's length. But for whatever reason, it seemed like it was the time to go. And, it was worth what we paid. I'm not going to Texas, but I thought it was valuable and participated in some really interesting group dynamics, learned a little bit about myself, was able to hear some things about myself that I needed to practice hearing. So, overall, it was exhausting. Like, it's really 2 full days. And then they say the first day goes till midnight, and they're absolutely right. It does go till midnight. I was hoping that was a typo. So if you are considering going to a Klemmer personal mastery, I'm happy to share my opinion. Not to sell you on it, because I'm not a champion. I'm not nothing. But I liked it. But I can also say from a cautious perspective, my take on the other things. And there's so many ways that people can find personal development tools that work for them. So if that's the personal development tool that works for you, have at it, because I know it's really changed some people's lives. And I saw people shift into a different mindset when they needed to get through whatever it is that they were going through. So anyway, that was a long weekend. And then with my mom and life stuff, here we are. And then also, I will say that I have become a Formula One junkie. And so we're going to talk maybe more about that into next week, because it's a race weekend coming up, and there will have been a race next Sunday. There isn't one today. But man, I have not just caught up recently, but then I felt I've had to go back and watch all of the Netflix seasons 1 through 7. And I ended up having to turn it off because I have work to do. I have a life to live. I have things to do, and it was really a distraction, which things tend to do sometimes. So I had to turn it off. But any y'all ladies want to talk Formula One with me, I would love it so much. I'm not a big sports fan, but apparently this is it. But this weekend, I was finally home, and I was able to a little bit take it slow, meaning I got to do my own things that I felt were important. I had to clean my house, which has been neglected for the last 2 weeks, which is never great. And I've got these dogs that are really just bringing blood, and so the house needed it, right? And so I was able to pretty much spend yesterday putting the house all back together and diving into some clutter piles. So the bookshelf where all my books and some we have DVDs, right? I don't know if you have DVDs, but we got some media left. I have tapes. I have some tapes. I have some records, albums. So there's a whole bookcase with all of those things on there, and it was dusty. It was gross. I hate to admit it, but it was gross, and I've been looking at this gross bookcase for so long, and I was like, this is the weekend. I have to do it. Spring, right? Spring cleaning, you just automatically, something just triggers inside of you where you just have to get stuff done. So I tackled my cleaning. I'm going to tell you, this is my life hack that I've learned. I don't know where, but probably because I'm so like ADHD, like plopping from space to space. But I go in a circle. So I'll start in one place in a room, and I will just go clockwise around the room cleaning. And if I have to move something, I really love the adage, don't set it down, put it away, right? So when you pick something up, you don't set it down, you put it away instead of whatever. But I don't do that. when I'm in this cleaning mode, I don't do that. Like, I'll go in a circle, I'll pick something up, I'll bring it sort of closer to where it needs to go, but then it'll be like for later on the circle for me to get to. So that's what I did to my living room. I started with my fireplace and went for it. And that included going through the piles of stuff that needed to be gone through. I have a little place that had some exercise equipment and instruments. And then I had the blinds, which I had to do all of that. And then I had the coat area where we put our shoes and our coats and our hats and our gloves and all of those things and our bags when we walk in the door. And then all the way around to this bookcase, which the TV actually rests on. Y'all, I was filthy by the time I was done, but I had 2 bags, one of garbage and one of... So I would say that my living room is now, not much, but like 5% less cluttered with things that needed to go in the trash, with things that needed to be donated that I was not going to use anymore, with things that needed to go in their proper place. And while I probably could have done more, I'm satisfied with that 5%. And I'm going to keep going into other rooms. But why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because we have too much stuff. And I just saw this really funny meme, too, that was like, you don't need to go shop at Target. You don't need to go shop at Amazon. You don't need to shop at Sephora. You are bored. Go clean your car. And if that were not the truth, right? And I love this meme because it's so true. We've got a lot. I'm talking to you. You have enough stuff. I have enough stuff. My car needs to be cleaned. Although my car is not bad. It has been in the past a cesspit of terrible. It is not bad in this moment. So, props to me for finally getting it and not wanting to live like that anymore. I feel like it is time to not just stop buying, but also get rid of the stuff that we don't need. That's just contributing to the cloying energy of our house. This is spring. It is time. I'm going to encourage you to start taking a look at those places that need to get organized, need to get cleared out. And one of the reasons I love this topic is because of this thing called Swedish Death Cleaning. Have you heard of it? It's a TV show on Peacock, but before that, it was a book. And it's a service I offer, actually. And I am committed to that process for myself and for others. Now, what is Swedish Death Cleaning? The premise is that you get rid of your own things before your family has to get rid of it for you. When someone dies, it's really overwhelming, to put it mildly. There's grief involved, but there's also all of the practical business stuff that you have to do on top of that, which is just crazy to have all these jobs put on you while you're really, really sad. And we often say that when we die, we want to make things easier for our family. We want to keep things simple. We want them to stress as little as possible. And yet we don't take care of our things and they are left to do that. So I'm trying to live my life in a way and I'm going to pare down. And not because I plan on dying tomorrow. That's not really what it's about. Because then it just leaves room for the things that are really important. And then it allows you to buy things more strategically. When your house is organized and clean, then the things that you want to bring into it, you're more thoughtful about. And this is a time where we're being more thoughtful about the things we bring into our house. So this is a perfect time, whether you want to call it spring cleaning or you want to call it Swedish Death Cleaning, if you are ready to tackle the things that you need to tackle. I do recognize that when we let things go, we have feelings. As an example, one of the things I threw away yesterday were 2 masks. I might even be feeling sad. The sadness is coming. 2 masks that my son made in school, where they did like the Mod Podge, where they put it over your face and then they like wrap it like mummy style, and then it dries and then you come off. And then they like painted it and made like little masks, right? And so it was his little face from, I don't know, many years ago, like his little face. So maybe 3rd grade, something like that. And they were hanging on the walls, but they had since been taken off for whatever reason. And they were just collecting dust. And I asked my son if he wanted them. He said no. And I really wanted to keep him because it was his face, like frozen in time when he was little. And I tell you what I did. I took a picture of them and I threw them away. And so now this is what happens. I did it. I feel sad about it, but I don't feel bad about it. I feel like I made the right decision, because I tell you what, someone was going to have to throw away those masks sooner or later. I do not know that those things, those 2 items, were going to be the things that my child's children will see and love and remember. And you know what? They might see the picture now, and that might be enough. So all that to say, there is an emotional component to spring cleaning, Swedish Death Cleaning. There is. And it's a good practice for us to even throw away things that we will be sad about, because you can't take it with you and you can't keep everything. And there's only so much that we can carry with us from place to place to place, or saddle our kids with when they leave. You know, how much are we going to give them when they leave and get a house of their own? Was he going to have those masks up in his house? Was I going to put them in a drawer with all the other things forever? No. So as a part of Swedish Death Cleaning, we acknowledge being sad, and we can take extra steps. Like I said, I took a photo. I will probably never see that photo again. I might make an album. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have a photo of it, and the photo takes up much less space on my phone than it takes up in my house. So I'm comfortable with that trade. And I will say I've done that with a lot of my son's art over the years. I've taken a picture and I've thrown it away because I can't keep it all. Now, there is an argument for keeping some things, right? You give yourself a box, and that's the box. And you get to see what's really important when you say, this is how much space I have. What can go in this box? You really learn a lot about yourself and what is important. So if I have inspired you to tackle that closet that you know you need to tackle, if I have given you permission to throw away the things that contain memories or remind you of a time that's passed and bring up big emotions for you, but I'm giving you permission to honor those feelings and let that go. When we let things go, you know, when you're holding things, you don't have hands for other things, physical and metaphorical. So it's time. The sun is out. It was pouring down rain earlier, and now it is. Sun's out. You know, you just want things to be fresh and new and alive, and you can have that when you have less stuff, when you have less clutter. I am here to encourage you to take those big things, because, you know, I'm quite frankly talking to people in their 40s most likely, right? And so we've got a lot of time. We've got a lot of time, but we can start now so that it only gets easier and not harder, that we're not just accumulating things for the next 30 years that then we need to get rid of. So this is a call to all my middle-aged lady friends to, you know, take a look at your stuff and know that I'm right here with you. And that's what we do here at Owning Life. We own our situation, whatever it is. And we own the fact that our house is filthy because we have big dogs, and because we haven't had time to clean in 2 weeks, and because we had a really hard time letting go of the hat that has a manatee on it. And we really like manatees. But that is also in the donate bag. So goodbye, manatee hat. I want to say I love you, but I actually never loved you. I never loved that hat. It never looked good, but I love the manatee. So that was my little pep talk for today. I will see you soon, but if you have not yet subscribed, would you please do me a favor and do so? Send this to a friend if you think they need that little extra oomph to start going through some of their stuff that they have feelings about. I think that's what I have for you today. If you, again, are F1 people, talk to me about your favorite drivers. It was really interesting to see how Lawson got in and I got out. That's, dramatic. But anyway, race weekend next weekend. You guys are great. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Thank you.